You hear that? That means it's time to eat. Welcome back for episode 2 with Cooking with Chef Key. Of course, I'm Chef Key and I'm hungry, so let's get to cooking. Today we got something very familiar for you guys. You might have heard, you may have not, but it's okay. You're gonna know what it is by the time we get done. So what we're cooking is Marry Me Chicken soup. So I know you heard of the Marry Me Chicken dish, but this time we're turning it into soup. We're adding a little pasta to it, and it's gonna be good, just like Campbell soup, but better. So we have black pepper, seasoned salt, Montreal seasoning, a little tomato paste. We have chicken bouillon powder, sun-dried tomatoes that's been chopped. We have some fresh basil that has been chopped as well, garlic powder, onion powder, some smoked paprika, dried thyme, some minced garlic, some homemade Cajun seasoning. We have some flour, some diced onions, some milk, Parmesan cheese, bow tie pasta, chopped spinach, and then we have some chicken here. You can use whichever type of chicken you like. I have some bone-in chicken thighs and legs, but you can use chicken breast, diced chicken, whatever you prefer. I prefer dark meat because it's more rich. It has a little bit more fattiness in it, and it gives a little more flavor. It's not as dry. And so that bone-in chicken is going to give you more flavor as well. But you will see how we're going to develop those flavors in just a second. This is going to be a one-pot dish. So it's a quick dish you can throw on in a crock pot, or you can do it on the stove. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the stove. So we got a pot here. We're gonna add some oil. And while that's heating up just a minute, we're gonna take our chicken, we're gonna get it seasoned. So I'm gonna season it with some black pepper, some Cajun seasoning. And remember that Cajun seasoning, I already have a little bit of salt in there, so just watch that salt to taste. We got some Montreal seasoning, some of that dry thyme. We're gonna add that smoked paprika, a little bit of onion powder, and we got some garlic powder, okay? And I'm gonna also add a little bit of oil to my chicken. That way that seasoning can get combined on the chicken, it can stick, and we're just gonna mix it up, okay? And like they say, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned, okay? So make sure it's mixed up really well, because this is gonna be the base of our chicken. All right, so you can see all those seasonings is on that chicken, it's coated very well. All right, so we're gonna move this over to our pot, and then we wanna get a good sear on this chicken. Okay, the pot is not quite as hot, so we're gonna give it a few more minutes. Just a rule of thumb, when you searing chicken, you wanna do it at a medium to high heat. So you don't wanna put cold chicken in a cold pan because it's gonna take longer to cook. Hey, we're working smarter, not harder. We're not trying to be in the kitchen all day. So let's give that pot a little time to heat up, and then you should be good to go. Y'all hear that? That means we're ready. So you go ahead and add your chicken to your pan. I'm going to add it skin side down, or what would have been skin side down. We took the skin off this chicken. And so I took the skin off because we don't want that skin inside of the soup. Because later on, we're gonna add this chicken back to the pot, let it cook, and then debone it. So I took the skin off the chicken first, so that's an extra process we don't gotta worry about. But again, that's because I use bone-in chicken. If you don't wanna go through that, just use some boneless chicken breasts, boneless chicken thighs, and hey, you don't even have to worry about any of that. You can just sear your chicken, add it straight to your pot, and shred it. Okay, we're hearing that good crackle. And you wanna sear it for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, just so you can get a good crust on the chicken. Okay, so that looks good. We're gonna turn that over. All right, so we turned that over. Now we're giving the other side of the chicken to cook for a little while. If you hadn't chopped up your basil, chopped up your onion, this is the time to do that. You can work all these things at one time. I have already had mine chopped ahead of time, but if you didn't, this is the perfect time to do it. Let that chicken cook, chop up your ingredients, and then that way you can work 2 things at once. We're gonna multitask here. Okay, so our chicken has cooked for about 6 to 7 minutes or so it's time to take it out the pot. We're gonna put it in a bowl, sit it to the side, then we're gonna work the rest of that soup. All right. You might see some bits of that seasoning in the bottom of that pan. Don't take it out, keep it in there. We wanna keep that flavor rocking, okay? So now, I'm gonna take my diced onions. Then I'm gonna take my sun-dried tomatoes, tomato paste, And then we're gonna take garlic. You wanna let that cook for a couple minutes until the onions and the garlic is about translucent, or 2 or 3 minutes until you start to smell it. Start to become very fragrant. Now, if you had chicken stock, you can add chicken stock instead. But as I mentioned earlier, I had chicken bouillon powder. So when you have the powder, you have to add water. We're making our own chicken stock here. Then we're gonna continue with the soup. So you're gonna sprinkle that in. And also remember, as we're building these flavors, that chicken bouillon powder has salt in it, just like the Cajun seasoning. You can always add, but you can never take away. So just build as you go. We have about 4 cups of water here, so we're gonna go ahead and add some water to the pot. And we're gonna give that a good stir. Okay, so once we get that all combined, next we're gonna go ahead and add our seasonings, and we're gonna add our milk, and then we're gonna put our chicken back in the pot. Guess what? I forgot something. Hey, that happens, right? So what we were supposed to do was also add flour. We were supposed to let that cook down to start a roux, then add our water and add our chicken stock. What that flour was gonna do is gonna start thickening the soup up so that later on we could have a more silky soup, but that's okay. That's what happens in the kitchen. Sometimes you have to adjust. So, other than using the flour, we're gonna use cornstarch. Cornstarch is a thickener just as well as flour is, but it thickens quicker. So what we're gonna make is something called a slurry. Equal parts of water, equal parts of cornstarch. And so you wanna add cold water, and then you wanna add about the same amount of cornstarch, and then you're gonna stir it up. When this cold liquid hits the hot liquid, it's gonna thicken it up. You're gonna adjust, still gonna work out the same way. It thickens more quicker than it does with flour. So you wanna add a little bit of it at a time. So we're gonna add just about half of that. Then we're gonna continue to build those flavors. So the same seasonings that we use on the chicken is the same seasoning we're adding to our pot. Garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. The only thing that I'm not gonna add is salt, because again, we have that chicken base in there. So I'm just gonna add everything else. A little bit of thyme and a little bit of pepper. Just a touch. You don't want to make it too spicy unless you like it like that. Okay, then we're going to add a little bit of basil. Save some for some freshness and brightness at the very end. Also, we're going to add some of our Parmesan cheese. We're going to use just a bit of it at the very end to top it off, and then our milk. Now I'm going to take my whisk and I'm going to give it a good stir. Y'all see all of those flavors and those colors? That's what you want to see. Sometimes that cheese gets on that whisk, that's okay. It's gonna thicken up in the soup later. So now that we can tell that our cheese has dissolved, you see that the cheese is not pulling like it was before, so that means that it has dissolved and that soup mixture is already getting hot. So that's perfect. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our chicken to our pot so it can cook. So again, this is a 1-pot dish. So we're gonna add everything to the same pot. So this is gonna cook about 25 to 30 minutes. You wanna make sure that the chicken is done all the way, of course. And then we'll be able to pull that chicken off the bone. Another thing that you can add to the soup, if you wanna do some baguettes, do some garlic bread, do some cornbread, this is the time to do that. Clean as you go, clean up everything, which is what I'm about to do right now. And then we'll be right on back. So now that our chicken has been cooking for about 25 minutes or so, we're gonna check it and see if it's tender enough or done to finish cooking up on our soup. Yeah, this smells so good. Oh my gosh. All right, so we're gonna take a piece of chicken out. We're gonna check it and see if it's done all the way to the bone. Now I'm taking the biggest piece of chicken out, which is the thigh, so we'll really be able to tell if it's done. If it's not pink or it's not fleshly like, you'll know if it's done. If it's tender and pulled straight off the bone, we're ready to go. Oh yeah, that's pulling straight off. Let's check it on both sides. Yes, y'all see that? Good and ready. So now we're gonna put our chicken in a bowl and we're gonna go ahead and debone it, and then we're gonna add our noodles. We're gonna move this. So now I had cut our pot down just a little bit So now I'm gonna crank it up just a bit, back to medium heat. You wanna get to a rolling boil for the pasta to cook. So the pasta should cook about 10 to 12 minutes until it's al dente. All that means it's soft to teeth. And so we're gonna cut that back up. We're gonna add our pasta so it can cook. Let's do this. Let's take a quick test to see if we need any more seasonings, because we're actually almost done. That way, this is the time to add anything additional to the pot if we need to. So let's try it. I think it needs a touch salt. Remember, we didn't add a lot of earlier, so I'm gonna add a touch, just a little bit of salt to that, add a little bit more basil. I didn't add this ingredient earlier, but it needs a touch of brightness. So I'm gonna add a squeeze of lemon juice, and I think that'll be perfect for us. We'll be ready to add our pasta in. So now we're gonna add some of that lemon juice that we talked about. And I have a strainer just to catch the seeds. Oh my gosh. This making me hungry and ready to eat. And I know y'all are too. So give us about 10 minutes and we'll be right back and we'll be finishing up the soup. All right, we're gonna check our pasta and see if it's done. Yep, we're done. And so, as you've seen, we've already got our chicken deboned. So we're gonna add that to the pot. We're gonna add our spinach to the pot. We're gonna finish it with a little cheese, and you guys will be ready to eat. With all the flavors that we have going in this pot, no one is called Marry Me Chicken, right? If you're trying to get wiped up, ladies, hey, this is a recipe to cook, okay? Now, I can tell you just go cook for everybody. However, it's a great meal for any time of day, any time of night, with that chicken, with the pasta, with the spinach. We probably got 2 cups of spinach in here, so you got your vegetables in here. It's a little bit of pasta in there, so you got a little bit of that starch, so it can kind of be filling. You got that fresh basil, you got that fresh lemon juice that we added, a burst of flavor. Like, it's chef's kiss. It's the perfect meal. All right, guys, we got everything all plated up. It smells so good. And next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna garnish it with a little Parmesan cheese. Add as much or little as you would like. And with a little bit of fresh basil right on top. It's time to eat. Kari!
Oh, that look good.
I know, right? You ready to eat?
I'm ready to eat. I am hungry.
All right, come on. Okay, try it. See how you like it.
Let's see if I like it. I can get some pasta. I can get it.
It's good. Now, if a girl made you that, would you wife up?
Oh, definitely.
You guys heard that. Marry Me Chicken Pasta for the win. Thank you guys so much for joining us again. I'm about to eat myself. See you later.
I ain't gonna count.
That was fine.
That's all right. That's too good.
All right then.